First tight end comes off the board, and it's the Buffalo Bills selecting Utah's Dalton Kincaid at number 25 overall. So Heath already getting word out of Buffalo that they're going to use him not like a traditional tight end, that they're going to split him out wide. That's according to Bills GM Brandon Beane as he met with the media right before we started recording this. So you see Kincaid going to a team that already has Dawson Knox, that has, a couple of pretty big-time pass catchers. It's Stephon Diggs, Gabriel Davis, some interesting parts there, Khalil Shakir. What do you think about this move by the Bills, and what do you think about the fantasy outlook for Kincaid?
I think the outlook long-term is you're tied to Josh Allen, so it's fantastic. The outlook short-term is with Stephon Diggs there, with Gabe Davis there, with Dawson Knox just getting a new contract there. It's probably, he's a rookie tight end. We probably weren't going to get super excited about him from redraft anyway, and all the weapons they have there in Buffalo will keep us from doing that.
Now, we've seen Dawson Knox have some interesting seasons the last couple of years, very touchdown-dependent 2 years ago, did a little bit more last year. But we know they've sort of been searching for another player to even help Stephon Diggs. Gabriel Davis not necessarily having the breakout season that a lot of people hope for in 2022. Can you see Kincaid come in and, get an opportunity to get enough targets to make him fantasy relevant in his rookie season for fantasy managers and redraft leagues?
No, I think if he finds fantasy relevance, it's going to be because he does the Dawson Knox thing and he ends up scoring 8 touchdowns on 75 targets, and 75 targets would be a fantastic season for him, really, with all the weapons they have on that offense. I think it's far more likely that he's building something for the future. If he has an impact on fantasy in 2023, I think it will be that he's hurting Dawson Knox or hurting someone else.
Does this make you feel a little bit better about Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis, knowing that they were tied to a wide receiver? Obviously, they can still draft somebody, but looking like they're going to get out of round one without selecting a wide receiver. What does this mean for Diggs, for Davis, for even Khalil Shakir?
Definitely makes me feel a lot better for Gabe Davis, because even if they say they're going to play Dalton Kincaid more out wide, it's not going to take Gabe Davis's role away. So there was some concern I had that someone like Johnston might step into his role or battle him for that role. And I think you can lock Gabe Davis in as the number 2 wide receiver on this team. Diggs, obviously a top 10 wide receiver, and no concern there either.
I guess we should put an asterisk on it because they still could get DeAndre Hopkins, which we know Hopkins would love to find his way to Buffalo, getting out of Arizona. In terms of Dawson Knox, looking at just his redraft value, I don't know where you had him ranked. For me, he was around tight end 15, just looking at what he was doing. Again, being tied to Josh Allen, as you said, that's a great place to be. Not necessarily the same anymore, though, but we know rookie tight ends, they take some time to develop. Does Dawson Knox still crack the list for you as a guy you'll settle for if you miss on the elite level tight end?
Yeah, I don't think so. He was tight end 15 for me before this news. Definitely going to fall behind a couple of guys. I think you're going to see him at the best. He'll be in that tight end 20 range. Now, if he gets off to a good start of the season where he's scoring touchdowns and he'll turn into that touchdown-dependent streamer again, maybe Dalton Kincaid doesn't impact him at all. But I just think the extra competition for targets for a guy who was a borderline starter before that pick was made, this makes him someone you're probably avoiding unless it's a deep league where the tight end premium or something like that.
And Khalil Shakir, what does this do for his, long-term outlook, short-term outlook, knowing that he's going to maybe lose some reps, but obviously, again, different position, tight end versus, potential number 3 wide receiver there for Buffalo.
Well, I think that's the thing. If they're talking about playing more 2 tight end sets and putting Dalton Kincaid out, I think Dalton Kincaid is probably playing where Khalil Shakir would have been if they were playing 3 wide receiver sets. So this would definitely be a bad thing if that's the way that it materializes.
Let's talk dynasty value for Kincaid. Again, first tight end coming off the board. We know there's still a lot of guys in a loaded class. We don't know where they're going to end up just yet. But in terms of his value now, 1 quarterback leagues, does he crack the top 12? Does he get into the first round, knowing that, again, there's a lot of upside for being tied to Josh Allen?
No, I'm gonna have him as a round 2 pick and maybe tight end 1. We'll see where the other top tight ends in this class goes. If one of them goes to an opportunity where he could get more targets in year 1, then he might be tight end 2. I think I'll look for him somewhere in that pick 15 to pick 18 range. Looking at my dynasty tight end rankings, he's probably going to be right about the tight end 18 to 20 range, maybe somewhere right around a guy like a K. Dotton or something like that.
All right, so we'll see what happens with the rest of the tight ends as the NFL draft continues to unfold, with the first one coming off the board, number 25 overall to the Buffalo Bills, Dalton Kincaid. So we'll see what his fantasy value is long-term, short-term. But as you see, we're a little excited, and we'll see how it means for his fantasy value in Buffalo moving forward. All right, for Heath Cummings, I'm Jamie Eisenberg. Stay right here to the Fantasy Football Today YouTube page.